Hey guys, hello and welcome to Naveed for Speed. In today's video, I am driving this car, the Nissan X Trail, and I'm taking it on a long journey. That's because I'm having to go from my home in Bradford all the way to Folkestone, a journey that's over 200 miles. And if you haven't already seen my Nissan X Trail video, then click the button up here where you can watch the video where I explain a bit more about the exterior and interior features, and I take it out for a drive. I explain what it's like around the city, and I talk about some of the fuel economy figures that I've been getting. But for this video, I'm going to be driving this on the motorway. I'm going to be driving it on a long journey. I'll tell you exactly what it feels like with the adaptive cruise control. I'll tell you exactly what the comfort is like in this car and how it feels after 200 miles. And of course, I'll tell you what the fuel economy figure comes to. So stay tuned to this video. I'm currently at Peterborough Services. I've already been driving this car for some time on this long journey, but as I continue the journey, I'll give you a little bit more insights into what this car feels like, and if it's right for you, if you are constantly going on longer journeys, if you're taking the family with you, for example, what is that experience going to be like? So before anything else, let's head on to the rest of the journey. Right, so I'm just joining on to the A1 now, and as you can start to hear, as I put my foot down a little bit, you can hear the engine sort of kick in, sort of start to come to life a little bit more. So you can certainly start to hear that engine under acceleration. But once we get up to speed and you sort of take your foot off the accelerator a little bit, everything starts to become a bit more refined now. Everything starts to become a bit more quieter. There is sound, but that sound is mostly from the road surface on the tires, and as you may or may not know, on the A1 there isn't the best road surface, so you can definitely hear that, but you can also hear a lot of wind noise. And I personally thought that I had a window open, so I was constantly closing the windows, but all the windows are closed. It's mostly from the wing mirrors you can hear the wind noise, but otherwise the driving experience is actually quite comfortable, and it's really pleasant because you have that smooth driving feel from the electric motors. Everything seems nice and composed. The steering wheel is nice and light, but on a long journey like this, on a straight road, on the motorway like this, really easy to use. I thought maybe it might be a bit twitchy and I might have to sort of make loads of micro adjustments. No, nice and easy. Really takes the stress out of things. The seats are comfortable enough. Again, we have mentioned that these seats are made of this sort of waterproof material, but you really don't feel it when you're driving along. And so far I've been driving on this journey, I've been driving for a couple of hours now, and I don't feel tired. I will obviously update you later in this journey towards the end how I feel, and I will also update you on the fuel economy figure that I get having driven this car on a longer journey. But yeah, definitely when you get it on the motorway, it's really pleasant, really easy. And the cruise control I've been using as well, the adaptive cruise control is really good. It doesn't suddenly brake and jerk you as some adaptive cruise control systems do, and when it's accelerating, yes, you can hear that engine, but it doesn't feel like it's straining a lot either. So it keeps everything nice and smooth, which is really good. And the adaptive cruise control is really good for when you encounter roadworks, for example, and there's contraflow and you end up in the back of a queue. That adaptive cruise control system can actually bring you to a stop, and then you can set off again using that system itself. So yeah, it takes the stress out of stop-start traffic as well. So I'm really pleasantly surprised with the way that this car is on the motorway. So I'm going to continue my journey now, and we shall stop when we reach the next service station. And there are a couple more things that I would like to tell you about this car, and I'll tell you when we stop. So I've just stopped at some services on the M20, and I thought I'd stop and show you a little bit of some of the stuff that I've seen with this car as I've been driving along. So far the journey's been pretty good, rather comfortable. Again, the adaptive cruise control has been really easy, made my life really comfortable. But I wanted to mention one thing which I noticed, which was this sun visor, which the size of the sun visor is actually pretty good. It blocks out the sun really well, and especially when the sun's coming in from the driver's side window as well, you could just move it here and you get loads of protection from the sun. So I think that's a really cool feature and something which is worth noting when you're driving this car. Also, I do want to mention the back door, however. which is also really good. So for rear passengers, look how far this opens. It's almost 90 degrees. So it's really good for getting in and out quite easily, especially if you've got kids. But just make sure that if you are parked in a car park, that you don't bump the car next to you. But otherwise, really practical and really comfortable. I'm going to continue on the journey now and hopefully soon get to the destination, and I'll tell you what the entire trip has been like. So here we are on the last bit of the journey, back on the M20, heading towards the hotel that I'm going to be staying at tonight, and then onwards towards France. If you are interested in what I'm going to be doing in France, then make sure you subscribe to my channel and make sure you keep an eye out on my next few videos. I'm going to be continuing the journey in a different car, not in this car, so stay tuned to find out about that. But what is this car like on the long journey? What has this journey been like? Well, like I told you, it's been easy. I feel quite fresh. I feel like I can go many more miles, and that's thanks to stuff like the adaptive cruise control and the smooth ride. The bumps on the road, I mean, the UK isn't the best when it comes to the road surfaces, but it's actually been quite pleasant. I wouldn't, I would have probably felt more bumps in the road in other cars. So I'm really quite glad about this particular car, and I'm glad that I got to do this journey in this Nissan X Trail. What can I tell you about the fuel economy? Well, so far the fuel economy that I've got on this car on this 250 odd mile journey has been and if you include the time that I spent with the car in the city, it's been around 40 miles per gallon. How many miles have I done in total? I have probably done 400 miles I've done in this car since I've had it, and that's obviously a mixture of city driving and motorway. Obviously most of those miles will have been on the motorway, but I did spend quite a lot of time in the city, and so you do have to bear that in mind. But 40 miles per gallon is actually, I'm surprised, especially when I initially saw that figure, roughly around 36 miles per gallon in the city. I'm surprised. I've not really had it in sport mode. I have been accelerating pretty well and overtaking people, but I mean, generally this car is capable when you need it, but it can also give you some cost savings. But definitely a smooth ride, family practicality, that adventurous lifestyle. I'm still yet to properly test the material in this car, so maybe I'll do that in the future, but I think it should withstand all that. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure you stay tuned for my next video. Make sure you stay tuned for my future videos where I'll be telling you exactly what I'm doing on the rest of my journey. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.